Hi there, I'm Rain. I wanted to take a moment to say hello and to welcome you to the first episode of my podcast, Under the Lemon Tree. I want this first episode to be a sort of channel trailer where I tell you a little bit about myself and my plans for the podcast. So I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I'm also a big fan of House of the Dragon. There are so many Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones YouTubers who create content I really love. Some of them do reactions and live streams of each new episode of House of the Dragon, and they create videos analyzing and breaking down all things A Song of Ice and Fire. So these creators have only increased my love of this series, and there's so many I love to name them all, but they inspired me to create content of my own and to create this podcast. So I plan on posting a new episode on YouTube and on Spotify every week, where I'll review, analyze, and share my thoughts on each new episode of House of the Dragon. Once the first season is over, I hope to pivot my content to either be about the book that the series is based on, Fire and Blood, or to create in-depth episodes, deep diving into analysis of specific characters from House of the Dragon. Maybe I'll do a bit of both. Since I'm starting towards the end of season 1, I might also do some retrospective episodes after the season is over, where I cover the episodes from earlier in the season that I didn't get to cover as they were being released. I'm planning on having at least one of my episodes feature a special guest who's a friend of mine and is another aspiring content creator. He's an expert on all things medieval, so I'm hoping he can share his insight about how the characters and plot points of House of the Dragon compared to and have been inspired by real historical figures and events from medieval times. My dream and my hope would be having the opportunity to interview one of the content creators who inspired me and do a short live stream with them. We'll see if that happens. I am a show watcher only, so far I haven't read any of the books in the Song of Ice and Fire series. I do know about some things that happen in the books based on what I've learned just from the content creators I watch, but I'm planning on keeping my podcast mostly spoiler-free, just in case, anyone listening hasn't read the books like me. This could change in the future when and if I start digging into the books, but this is the way I'm hoping to have it for now. Something I really like about House of the Dragon is that because it takes place so far in the past compared to Game of Thrones, about 200 years, I feel like it has the opportunity to appeal to new fans and bring new people into the fan base who haven't seen Game of Thrones, because they can, for the most part, watch and understand the show without having seen Game of Thrones. I have some friends and know some people who haven't watched Game of Thrones, but they started watching House of the Dragon. So just in case any fans like that do listen to my podcast, I'm hesitant of how much I want to spoil Game of Thrones. If I want to talk about something major from Game of Thrones, I might just give a short spoiler warning beforehand. Just to tell y'all a little bit about what inspired this podcast. So in the books, Daenerys has fond memories of growing up in a house that has a lemon tree out front. This is the last place where she felt truly happy and at home, and she seems to constantly be longing to recapture that feeling of comfort and belonging. Sansa is well known for her love of lemon cakes, so it seems like in this way lemons and lemon trees in A Song of Ice and Fire are associated with nostalgia and good memories. And I hope these are the kinds of warm, fuzzy things that you feel when you listen to this podcast. I want this to be, for the most part, very casual, unscripted, unfiltered. I want this to feel like we're just some friends meeting up to talk about a show we both love. So come sit under the lemon tree with me and let's talk some hot tea. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all with the handle @TheSpringDream. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope to see y'all soon.